Welcome back once again to the Season 5 finale of Sunday Night Skippy Formula 2 Racing. This is one that I've been looking forward to. Long Beach, California, brand new track to iRacing, and I'm really curious to see how these drivers navigate the, we'll say, small confines, and you can see right there the hairpin turn that's given other cars lots of fits and been the subject of a lot of conversation. So, for this race, I'll be by myself, and Ian will be joining us for the Skippy Formula 1 race, which we're excited about. But in the meantime, it looks like qualifying is finishing up, so let's check in on the drivers and see what they're up to. Got about a minute left here. Pim Luth with the provisional pole at the moment, 132.879. Jake Ashe still out there on track, along with Carter Stickney, Oliver Hartley, Joe Zubovich, and Rusty Huntenberg, newcomer to the league. There's the Skippy Formula 2. So welcome, Rusty. I apologize if I'm getting your name incorrect. We will rectify that if that's the case. Real quick, I've got mic monitoring on, and I turn that off, or I'm going to drive myself crazy. There we go. Whew, that's better. All right, so is Jake missing a wheel? It would appear so. All right, well, we've got a great battle here for the championship points. Very tight race. I do apologize. I'm going to try to, while we're watching the race here, get those up so everybody can see. I did not have enough time to clip the screen grab there earlier, so once the race gets underway, I'll just do that real time. We should have some fun. Get what you pay for. All right, so this track, obviously a city track and our city course, going to be pretty similar to, if you're just looking at it, you know, like your Belle Isles, and not quite as bumpy, obviously, but certainly there's some blind corners, some close spaces, and like I mentioned, there's that last hairpin turn that is one of the tightest turns, if not the tightest turn on the iRacing service, at least according to some folks. So that should provide quite a bit of, well, I guess our entertainment, but certainly consternation on the part of the drivers tonight as they try to navigate this complicated and tricky road course. In the meantime, though, we are gridding. Oops. Let's look at our qualifying results there. Congratulations, Pim Luth, getting the pole. Jonathan Dockery, Jake Ashe, Carter Stickney, Ian Worrell, Dan Pagowski, Oliver Hartley, Joe Zubovich, Peter Lee, Rusty Pottenberg, Nick Polo, and Keith Lee will be your starting grid for this evening's race. And this promises to be a good one. We've got Barney up there in the flag stand waiting to drop the green flag as the lights are about to go out here on the Season 5 finale of our inaugural Skippy Formula 2 Racing Series. Right there on the right-hand side, now to your screen on the left there, that's going to be pit road exit. That's going to create some issues here potentially, so keep your eye out on that going forward as the leaders make their way around the water fountain, which should provide, yep, and there you go. Already we've got, oops, cars around. Let's go back and see. May or may not have. Oops, backed up that far. that. And here are Ian and Jake, both championship contenders. Oh boy, that just looked. Ian blinked in and out of existence. I don't know if anybody really meant to do that. That is a tough to see. Yeah, you can see Ian blink out right there. He comes back, and then it just kind of backs everybody up. Let's look one more time from Jake's perspective, and then we will get back to racing. Just very tough to see exactly what happened here. Yeah, and then Ian's car just kind of appears right in front of him, inside of him. So, back to live here. Jonathan Dockery leading the pack. It does look like we may have had yet another wreck as the leaders make their way through the water fountain one more time. We will bring up your race information. And you can see already half the field of the race at the moment. Here is Rusty Pottenberg. Looks like he was having just some issues and decided to abort mission there. There's Oliver Hartley on pretty cold tires, making the pass. That's the hairpin right there. That is tough to do. Got word that they crashed, but I'm not seeing anything. Maybe we'll see it here. Yeah, touching wheels. Figure it was only a matter of time, but not seeing anything there. And it looks like Carter Stickney was out by himself, as is Nick Tullo. Jonathan Dockery was leading, but he has jumped to the pits, taking a tow. Let's see what happened. Jonathan, that is a tough corner, and luckily Tim Luth able to avoid the carnage there. That is a tough break, as bring up the gap here now. Just 6 cars remain on the lead lap. Actually 5 now that Keith Lee is on pit road. So let's check in here with leader Tim Luth. And you can see he's got a solid 6-second gap back to Joe Zubovich, Oliver Hartley, and Dan Bogowski. Oliver is going to make the move to the inside. Joe taking a nice wide berth. Peter Lee back here in the 24. And let's right along board here with Peter as he tracks down the 11 car of Joe Zubovich, sending it just a little wide. As they work their way around the hairpin, just really trying to crank down on that wheel, get that car rotated. Not easy. Joe Zubovich ducking into pit lane. And I'm going to reset this one last time here because we're having some issues with the overlay. Anyway, there's Pimleth. Oh, we've got another car around. Looks like Ian. Is that Ian? Nope. The back. That was Rusty Pottenberg. Very difficult to keep this car straight here. And yes, Paul Bachler checking in. Thanks, Paul, for watching the Formula 2 race. It has been a bloodbath for the moment. That's really given him the upper hand here. Now he's out to a 7-second lead, gapping the field of Oliver and Dan Bogowski, giving all they can. Peter Lee there falling just a little further back. The Rusty Pondberg right there, in front of the P2 and P3 cars of Oliver and Dan. Again, where Jake Ashe may have crashed as well. Man, this is my event log is blood red right now. Nick Tullo, Ian Worrell jumped back to the pits. Nick Tullo jumped back to the pits. So this is going to be a war of attrition more than anything. Oh, and Oliver's gonna tag the wall and take the toe. That is something that was talked about pre-race and will be for the Formula One race. Just the very tough to get your car turned around. Obviously, you can see the tight confines of this track. So the preference being, if you can't basically turn the wheel and get the car pointed in the right direction, the preference is to just take the tow and the time penalty associated with that instead of putting other cars at risk. And they've done that to great effect so far in the Formula 2 race. And now, then there were really three. We're down to Pim Luth, Dan Bogowski, Peter Lee. I did see Joe Zubovich. It looked like he took a early pit road entry. That does not look. It did not look. What am I trying to say? Accident related, damage related. So we'll see what happens there. There we go. Now it's reset. We'll ride along board here with Joe real quick. Got the 77 of Jake Ashe. Also getting word here, Keith Lee has crashed. I don't know how much of that, the tolerances might be a little tight for that hairpin as they slow down. It may be triggering some of these accident notifications, but we'll see. All right. In the meantime, let's do a lap or so with Pim Luth, and that will give me an opportunity to bring up the points standing so we can take a look at what the implications of this are as we approach the third way through the race mark. And we can ride along board with your leader as he does a lap around Long Beach. So this is the corner that gave Dockery some fits earlier. You can see just there's no room on the turn exit there. You really got to stick. You can't carry too much energy through there. No room for error. And this complex of turns, if you can really nail it, you can get a lot of time here. That is a trickier turn than it looks like. It's almost a decreasing radius sort of thing, but you got to kind of get on the brakes and really nail down for that hairpin and then just kind of hope you can get back on the gas there. Nice long straightaway. So a good exit there can help you a lot. And that will complete lap 7 for your leader, Pim Luth, who's now got a 9-second lead. Let's take a look real quick at if my real quick editing skills are up to snuff, and check out the standings for SF2. I believe that worked. All right, so Peter Lee has a 2-point lead over Ian Worrell, who has a 12-point lead over Jake Ashe, and Pim Luth 23 points, so this may not net him the overall points that he needs to jump up in positions, but what a way to end the season if he can maintain his lead and walk away with a win. Obviously, that would be his 2nd of the season. Something that I'm sure he would be super proud of. And right now, Peter Lee looks on pace to win that championship. Probably not pushing it too hard, and that's why you can see him kind of hanging back. Obviously, very fast driver in general. But he's under no pressure right now. Just a 2-point lead over Ian Worrell, who's now a lap down. Peter Lee maintains just a 14-second gap up to first. See just how close they're getting to those walls to really maximize the time, but once again, that is a risky business for Peter Lee, who's got the championship on the line here. Under no particular pressure, and we've got more wrecks potentially. Oh, that looks like may have been Oliver Hartley and Joe Zubovic making contact there ahead of Nick Tullo. Oliver, whoa, boy. That is a low success rate on that move. But it does not look like either one of those cars is too much worse for the wear, so we will continue on. Prediction for the Formula One race tonight. That is a very good question. Actually, you know what? While I'm doing that, let me go check in on the championship point standings for Formula One. And I will let you know, I think that Long Beach, based on the discussion in the Discord, both for the Skippy Formula 2 and Skippy Formula 1 drivers, they're... I don't know. I'm beginning to feel like this is kind of stale, stagnant analysis because it feels like a lot of tracks are love-hate among the drivers, but especially in the public races this week, there's just not been a lot of love for Long Beach because of the high rate of shenanigans. So I don't think that a lot of people have gotten as much practice in the public races during the week as they normally would have, which could come into play later. But let's take a look. If I had to guess, what I'm doing right now, I want to go through, see if we can't find some indicators. So last year we went to Detroit, and it's not analogous for sure. I think it's lazy to just call Belle Isle and Long Beach the same thing, because they're really, really not. But we had to look at it. Pete Mulbroughton, Jeffrey Decker, Walter Collada, Connor Tolman, and Paul Beatty, Carl Dronke, Don Parks, Adam Wright, Aaron Logic. Okay, so the usual suspects there at the top. Pete Mulbroughton, I do believe, is leading the championship points. So I think my lazy pick is going to be Pete Mulbroughton, just because that seems obvious. But I think what I'm going to go with is Walter Collada, because I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but man alive, that guy has shown some wicked speed, as they would say, up where I'm living now. And as of late, clearly he has a knack for the city circuits like this, and he's just found something special here in the last few weeks that I think we can capitalize on. So indeed, Pete Mulbroughton has an 11-point lead over Jeffrey Decker and Edwin Viorino, Chris Herrera, Nick Bowers, Carol Dronke. So yeah, it's hard to pick. Hard to pick either of these series, or just really close competition. And yeah, like you said, some of it just comes down to luck, as Pim Lute's going to drop in for a fuel stop as we reach the 19-minute mark. So that's going to leave Dan Pagowski out front. Yeah, I'll hang it on Walter Collada to get his second win in 3 races. I think I'm going to stick with that final answer. There's Dan Pagowski now out front as Peter Lee also dips into pit road. And if you haven't raced here ever, or in a it's a long slog down pit road. It feels like you're driving very slow for a very, very long time. So one of those really frustrating pit roads that oh wow, a lot to catch up on here. Sorry, I had the comments down. James Hauser, he has made an appearance, and we're very I guess hopeful that this means that he'll start to be able to find some time in his extremely busy schedule to spend more time with us, and I think he will be absolutely blown away by the level of racing that just how much the field has elevated itself in the interim. But yeah, Chris, I will never bet against you, because I do know, I guess this is about as close as your hometown track as iRacing permits. Yeah. So, I know this one will have a special place in your heart, and I got to imagine you've been running the practice laps there, hitting it pretty hard. Sorry, trying to deal with a couple things here all at once. So now that's put him 32 seconds back from Dan Pegowski, who has yet to pit. Overall, him able to get quite a, I don't know, about a second or so faster than Peter Lee on that pit stop. But once again, Peter Lee probably just happy to keep the nose clean and ride this one out on his way to the Formula 2 championship. Jonathan Dockery working his way back up into fourth place after a early race incident there. Tagging the outside wall, having to tow. I think he may have to pit one more time. I think the last pit stop that I'm showing for him was the tow and fast repair, so keep an eye out on that, but for the moment at least, looking pretty dang good. Joe Zubovic just a little bit behind them, going through the hairpin. Up 3 spots right now into P5. And Rusty Pottenberg in that 12 Willy Wonka gobstopper machine. About a minute and 20 seconds back in the P6, up 4 spots total though, so a really good run for newcomer Rusty Pottenberg. And we're on the 246 car, who we saw doing a little bit of, yep, magic, there we go, again. Rocking a new paint scheme. Hello, and 8th, up 3 spots. Whew. That turn 1 can be tricky. Keith Lee. Well, that was bad timing. That might have been the broadcaster's curse right there. I don't know if he got new tires or what happened there. Oliver Hartley will now pass him. Just ahead of him is, that you saw there, Jay Gaucher. These guys clawing their way back from incidents earlier in the race, doing their best. Jonathan Dockery is in pit road, as we talked about earlier, so yeah, in fact, that, like, it was the accident pit stop from earlier, so Jonathan will make his first fuel run, fuel only, into pit road, as we are now inside of 9.5 minutes remaining in the race. On lap 17, Dan Pegowski coming down pit road. Look at this, just how slow and painful that feels that whole way. But that's going to leave Pim Luth coming around the hairpin. And you can see Dan Pegowski moving on the track map there. just doing his level best to get off of pit road as Pim Luth goes screaming by into turn one. As Keith Lee ducks into pit road for fuel. And I imagine realigning the car just a little bit after that side swipe. Turn one. Peter Lee once again just riding around in P3 up 6 spots. Happy to be here. There's Joe Zulich and Ian Whirl. But now you see me, now you don't. Tolo working his way around the water fountain. Jake Ashe trying to get a lap back. From second place, Dan Pagowski. Basically, he's got a little bit of ways to go because I don't know if you noticed, but Pim Luth's got a 7-second gap. Once again, Dan Pagowski had a 2-second better pit stop than Pim Luth did. I think obviously some of that having pit on lap 16 instead of 12. Probably had to put a little less fuel in there to make it to the end. So that helped him a little bit. Keep your eye on that gap. 7 seconds. I don't know why it's showing twice. Here we go. On board here with Joe Zubovic as he chases down the blinking Ian Whirl. Shape shifter extraordinaire. And Pagowski is starting to slowly, well, it was, but it looks like he's just kind of maintaining, I guess. Slowly falling away. And Jake getting a nice little tow from Dan. I'm sure he doesn't want to necessarily put too much pressure, though. Being 2 laps down and guessing wanting to help Dan get up to him. There you can see your leader going around the hairpin. Start lap 20 as we tick down closer and closer to that 35-minute race time. At a minute and a half. Another 2-3 laps before depending on how fast Pim can get to that finish line. looking more and more secure with each passing turn. It's not a ton. Action here. I will say Jake Ashe is about 4.5 seconds back from Nick Tullo. Oliver Hartley about 5.5 seconds back from Jake. So that's really going to be your closest battle on the track at the moment. Here the Skippy's bottoming out. Oliver there doing his best to try to catch back up to Jake. 5 seconds now, so Oliver got a bit of speed. And Nick Tullo now in striking distance of Jake Ashe. So we've got this battle here of these 2 lap down cars that is heating up as Jake needs to check up, as Dan checks up, going through the water fountain there. Tim Luth still out to a very healthy lead. 33 minutes. 6 on down. Tim Luth, your leader. Joe Zubovich, the only traffic ahead at the moment. Free and clear. Working his way up to nearly 10-second gap over Dan Pegowski, as he is going to come across and take the white flag. This will be the last lap of the inaugural season of Skippy Formula 2, which is our season 5 of Sunday Night Skippy overall. Nick Tullo into pit lane one last time. Oliver Hartley making small gains on Jake Ashe, but with 1 lap remaining, I do not know that he's going to have the juice for it. Look a little further back. Ian has got 2 seconds to make up in this lap here to the 12 car of Rusty Pottenberg, and we'll see if he can do that. These drivers both 1 lap down. And Ian putting the pressure on. Back up here, your leader making his way around the last couple turns. The right-hand hairpin will be the final obstacle on his way. Now he can just coast in as he takes the checkered flag for the final race of the season. Congratulations to Tim Luth on a well-executed race. Dan Pegowski will be coming home second. And your inaugural season champion Peter Lee will be bringing home the final podium spot, the number 24 car. Congratulations to Peter as well, and a season well run. Jonathan Dockery making his way around the track one last time. He will bring home 4th, presumably. Got a 24-second lead on Joe Zubovich. Dockery one last time across the start-finish line for the season. Congratulations to him. Joe Zubovich working his way across as well. As he settles down in the seat and makes it all the way around. That will bring it to a close for us. Big, huge thank you to Joe, Peter, and Scott. Actually, we'll just say Joe and Peter for now. Scott's practicing for the Formula One race. Joe and Peter for letting us ride along board. Very big of you guys, and we'll ride along board as they do the final formation lap, and I will bring up the final standings for the last race. Congratulations once again, Pim Luth, Jonathan Dockery, and... Oh, that's qualifying. Alright. Let's try that one more time. Pim Luth, Dan Pagowski, and Peter Lee. There we go. That's what we called earlier. Joe Zubovich, Ian Worrell, Rusty Pontenberg, Jake Ashe, Oliver Hartley, Nick Tullo, Keith Lee, and Carter Stickney on a fantastic race. Very tough track. Great season. So much fun to watch this series as we look to improve it, obviously, going into the next season. But, I mean, what a hell of a start for these drivers, and what they bring to the table. The competition is just really fun, and you can tell these drivers have a healthy respect for each other. This is what I really like about this too. The sportsmanship at the end here kind of drives it all home for me, where I'm sure they all have their differences on the track, and obviously you want to be competitive when you're racing, but at the end of the day, we're all internet stranger friends, and this is supposed to be fun. And I think the formation lap is a great way of pointing that out. Fantastic send-off from the boys there, and just a lot of fun to watch them all. Well, we will sign off for now, get reset for the Formula One race, which may or may not have some configuration issues, which we're working our way through right now. So give us a few minutes. I will throw up the timer, and we will see you back here before too long. Thanks for watching, and I'm guessing about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or so. We'll see you back here.
Yep. Yeah. See ya.
Welcome back, everybody, to Skippy Formula One Racing Action. This is going to be the final race, as we mentioned, of the Season 5 for Skippy Formula One. And I'm excited, once again, to be back here at Long Beach about 10 minutes later after some shenanigans with the session. And I'm joined now by Skippy Formula 2 driver Ian Worrell. How are you doing tonight, Ian? There. Not there yet. He's on mute. All right. So it's just me for now until he gets back. All by myself and lonely. All right. So we're deep into the new qualifying session here. Let's take a look at what the drivers have going on. David Pena currently holding the provisional pole with Edwin Viorino, J.R. Hoops, Joshua Dancy, Chris Herrera, Jeffrey Decker, Pete Mo Broughton, Jeremy Grandin, Peter Nodwell, and Peter Miller, your top 10 for the moment. Although, as you can see, we've got quite a bit of time left in our qualifying run as Edwin Viorino proves my point and takes the top spot away from David Pena, at least momentarily. J.R. Hoops with a fantastic run so far, 131.904. Probably his highest, would be his highest qualifying effort of the season. I have to imagine that's true. And other than that, no real surprises. Got a bunch of fast drivers up there at the top. David Pena into pit road, as is J.R. Hoops after 3 laps of fun. Joshua Dancy, Chris Herrera, Pete Mobron, Jeremy Grandin up there now to P8. Peter Nodwell, our second place. No, he didn't finish. Scrolling through. All right. We also have the pleasure tonight of riding on board with Peter Lee and Scott Bell, who are both in the race. Is Peter Lee in there? I don't know. We've got quite a few drivers. We got 42, I guess, including Ian, though. So he is going to be broadcasting with me tonight. So 41 drivers right now, ready to take the grid. In this Formula One race, the final race of the season around Long Beach. And if you saw just how difficult it is to navigate your way around this track in the Formula 2 race, I'm sure you can imagine that this is going to be just another level of craziness with 40 plus cars trying to work their way through these very close, tight-knit quarters and concrete walls. So no safer barriers here. Maybe some tires every once in a while, but...
Good evening, Chris.
And it looks like Ian's off of mute. Are you with us, Ian?
Am I on? Am I there? Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Hello,
You're
hello?
talking, but I can't hear you. Why is that?
That I can't answer. I'm talking, I'm not on mute. Huh.
There we go. Have you been talking this whole time?
Dude, I have said the most amazing things that would blow your mind.
Well, I would never ask you to repeat them because that would just ruin it. So
It would. It would
Yeah,
totally ruin it for everybody.
I get you. I get you. I gotta say, one of the more appropriately themed cars here, Chris Herrera, currently in P6. We saw him tuning in earlier to the Skippy Formula 2 race. Fantastic job there with the paint scheme, which he's been rocking. And I got to imagine, where is he? Why can't I find him? Oh no, I had this all set up. Kyler Reed. I think Kyler Reed's paint scheme's gonna fit right in, but he's not out on the course right now. Let's see who else is around. Scott Bell, one of our drivers. So, um, impressions of Long Beach. Was this your first? I mean, obviously this is our first time here because Long Beach is a brand new track as of this season. Thoughts on racing it in the Skip Barber Formula 2000, Megan?
Yeah, it was the first time I've ever raced this track. I must admit, when I went up on Monday to start practicing, I hated it. Hate with a capital H. It is twisty. It is tight. It is unforgiving. But by the time Friday rolled around, I was starting to enjoy it. And I must admit, I did have a lot of fun in the race today. Mostly.
Yeah, I mean it is. For me, I think hot lapping and just trying to solve the puzzle that is Long Beach was way more enjoyable than racing. I did a Formula 3 race earlier this week in a different league and had some speed, but yeah, it came around. Wait, it was back up a little bit. That corner that Scott had just gone through, blind corner, and somebody was backing it on up into traffic, and what are you going to do after that? But
Yeah.
that can
Well,
be
that's always
frustrating.
a problem here, right? I mean, it's one of the issues that we've been fighting with to try and make sure that that people are able to race. And it's so easy to tap a wall, and if you tap, part of the car on the wall, depending on which bit you hit where, you spin your entire car over the other side of the wall, and then you crunch, and then you stop, and then someone else who can't see where you are comes around and runs into you, and it's just really, really difficult.
Yeah, 100% agree. It's sometimes it just is what it is. People not necessarily meaning to make mistakes or be, um, there's certainly no malice behind it, but it's just such a tough track with the
It is.
tight quarters and the blind corners, and yeah, what are you
Yeah,
gonna
and I
do
mean, to be
sometimes?
fast here, you've got to be pushing the car right up onto the edges of the track. I mean, to be quick. And once you do that, you're now starting to look at, a millimeter, of error is going to put you straight in the wall. Is going to mess you up. And I mean, oh my God, I'm looking at Vallerino's 1:31.324 as a fast lap. Well, I think I was one of the faster cars in the SF2 race, and we were nowhere near the 130. No one was near the 131. So this is just an insane. That's just an insane speed.
They were able to squeeze just a few more seconds out of this lap, which, as you can attest, is no easy feat.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Hats off, mate. Hats off.
Well, I think what everybody is looking forward to seeing, at least from a spectator standpoint, is how 40 drivers, 41, I guess, are going to make their way around that first lap because, as we've discussed before, one of the other, I guess for any car really, but it certainly seems even more so for the Skippy. You got those nice cooled off tires. We don't have the fancy tire warmers or anything like that, and it can get slick real quick. And so you really need to have a firm understanding of what the car is going to do through some of these turns. And if we follow Andrew Cole around here, I think he may, well, yeah, I think he'll be able to force this lap out. Obviously, turn one gets a little tricky right there. And then around the waterfront, this is going to be one of the classic areas where you're just going to expect a lot of pileups. This right-hander coming up here is where I came around the corner and found somebody. Found the rear end of somebody. This turn right here, always a little tricky, and especially on cold tires, you're going to be sliding right out, and that wall will come out and get you. All
Yeah.
right.
And that other turn he just did was horrible. It bounces you around all over the place.
Absolutely.
And it's really hard to be fast through there.
Well, I'm going to try to tune in here and give the driver's briefing if we can.
I will shut up.
All right, everybody got me?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. We are excited to be bringing this on YouTube and Twitch to all of your adoring fans. So put on a good show out there. Adopt that league mentality. It's the final race of the season. It's not a pub race. Bring your A game. No excuses. Play like a champion. The most important thing, if you lose full control of your car, you have to lock your brakes. Don't touch that throttle. Forget about your steering wheel. If you do not lock your brakes, you will be at fault for any incidents created by your car's trajectory, even if you have the purest of intentions. Blue flags are instructional, not informational. What this means is that as soon as a driver receives a blue flag, they have until the end of the next complex of corners to encourage the faster car to pass. Any battles between lap cars are on hold when any of them have a blue flag until it has been served. We don't do dive bombs. When attempting an overtake into a corner, wheels have to overlap with wheels. If an overtaking car does not have that overlap, they have to back out. The leading car has the privilege of closing the door if sufficient overlap is not achieved before turn in. Keep this in mind for the hairpin. Track notes. Yellow flags are also instructional, not informational. No passing under yellow. If you gain a position under yellow, you must give it back once it is safe and reasonable to do so if the passed car is on the same lap and maintains pace with you. This is for the benefit of everybody. Trust me, because of the tight and enclosed nature of the track, disabled and obstructing cars must tow. Take the tow. You must never use the reverse gear while obstructing traffic and must immediately tow instead. If you're stuck on the racing surface and can't unstuck yourself before traffic reaches you, you must tow. There's a theme here. Failure to tow when creating an obstruction for racing traffic may result in a retroactive disqualification. That's everything that I have. The stewards will be happy to answer any questions that you have. Have a good race, everybody, and we will see you on the other side.
All right, so we've wanted to keep the drivers' meetings brief. So but I do
guess
want
as
to
to how
give
many toes
everybody
we're
a
gonna
chance
have
to ask a
tonight?
question about the last bit that Chris
Oh,
just
hold
mentioned
on.
there. Are there any questions about when you would be expected to tow?
I don't know why I can't mute that. Uh-oh.
Going one. All right, going to set the grid to 1 minute.
All right, 1 minute so for me to really quickly...
All right, I have one more thing to add, guys. It seems like there was still a secondary mistake made with the fuel settings here, so just be ready for it. We should have had 51% fuel tanks, and we have 41% fuel tanks. Sorry about the second typo, but expect to straddle either a 1 or 2 stop strategy because of that.
Oh, people are not going to be happy about that.
About what?
Well, I messed up the first session, and then Walter typoed the second session with the fuel settings, so either way, it ended up not all right. Hey, by the way, congratulations to Edwin Viorino starting on the pole, and David Pena will be starting on the front row with him, and we will scroll through the rest of the drivers here. That didn't end well for anybody last time we did that. All right, so we are getting ready to go green here. Ian, what are you going to be watching on this first lap?
Oh my gosh! Well, of course. See how people get through our first turn there. That's going to be the key to the race. Whoever's on pole's got the a big, huge, ginormous. Did I say big advantage? Because he doesn't have to worry about anybody else. And P2's probably going to be okay, But the rest, 40 cars, or how, I don't even know how many we've got on tonight. We've got 41 cars, because I'm not racing. And we're off. Off we go. So here we go. Let's keep an eye on those guys going into that first corner and see how they do. They're led away nicely there by Edwin. But already we're seeing places change. Chris is pushing for second. David Pena has locked his brakes going into that corner. He's a bit all over the place, to be honest with you. And the first 4 are through. How are we doing back in the pack? Already we're seeing a lot of accidents back there. What on earth? They haven't even got to the corner and they're crashing.
I don't know what's happening.
What on earth happened there? That is probably worth a replay. If you could pull it up, Chris, I'll keep an eye on the front of the pack and keep
let me know if I need to go live here real quick.
No, we're good. The first 4 are through. They're about ready to turn and come onto the back straight for the first time. Before the big, huge concertina of that last pick of the hairpin. Chris Herrera is all over the back of David Pena, and Mike Bowers is absolutely in contention and running really close to them. As we drop back a little bit further, JR Hoops is in 6th, and he is closing up right behind Jeffrey Decker, who is in 5th. And into the hairpin for the first time, the concertina effect in full effect, and the cars all get Nancy's right in there, so's Carl Dronke, and in fact Mike Bowers is coming up alongside, Peter Broughton is coming up alongside of Carl Dronke. Just drop back a little bit as we go back up, and Chris Herrera is challenging David Pena going into, and he's backed off a little bit, into turn 1. Right now, Edwin Ballerino is clearing the pack. He's got a good one, just over 1 second lead. Oh! Chris Herrera had to brake really hard to avoid the back of David Pena right at the fountain, and that's put him well into the clutches of Jeffrey Decker, who is all over his bumper. As we look back a little further, Carl Dronke is catching and is looking to see if he can find a way around JR, who's making his car very wide. Although, speaking of very wide, he ran a little wide on that turn, and Carl is really trying to take advantage of that as they go into the turn before the back straight. JR messed it up, and off he goes. Carl has passed JR. So Carl has gone up into 5th place. Dropping. Sorry, was that Mike Bowers? It's just past Mike Bowers. I do apologize. Ignore me. I'll just shut up now.
I'm looking back here a little bit too. Walter Collada and Adam Wright going side by side here through the hairpin, which is no easy task, but they make it very cleanly. Right ahead of Steve Dewar and Scott Bell. It looks like I'm getting word. Kim Luth, Thor, Tolo, Jake Ashe, Oliver Hartley, all having crashed.
Well, we never did get to guess how many people we thought would tow, but there's quite a few of them already.
Oh, and Chris Herrera's crashed.
Oh, Chris Herrera's crashed.
Where'd he go? Oh, I completely missed it.
Chris Herrera crashed in T1. And so he's going to be dropping massively back down through the pack.
Although he had dropped back quite a bit prior to that. I'm just trying to make sense of all of the stuff that's happening here. That's why we're just a little bit quiet. I think things have settled down just about enough for the moment. Let's try to go back all the way to the front here. recap. Contact with 73 didn't look like he ever got going. The 976 trying to avoid contact. That's going to collect Connor Tolman. So that was a little bit of craziness before they even got back to the start-finish line. And hopefully we'll get a better look at it here. Jack Moffitt ahead in front of that original contact. They're going 3 wide. They're going to touch wheels. That was that in second. You see Sean Trediak there, Peter Lee, some other cars get involved. That was Andrew Cole that they had made contact with. Yep. Who else? Oliver Harley maybe got a little piece. No.
Sorry, dude.
All the same accident there. Doing my best here to scroll through. Yeah, a bit of a backup there going into the water fountain. Not too bad though. Scott Bell, one of our. Oh, that's who they were right along there, just behind Steve. So that didn't look too bad. Looks like Connor may have had some secondary bad luck after that initial. Yeah, his car just not turning at all. His wheels barely attached, it looks like there. So, holy cow. Yeah, we may not be able to catch up with all this stuff right now. We got to get back to the live racing. We're going to miss the whole race trying to recap everything, but...
Well, Edwin's still running out in front. His last lap, his fastest lap was a 1:31.9, although Dave now in second did a 1:31.796, which is right up there, and actually this is now the fastest lap of the race. Jeffrey Decker's in third, Carl Drunker's in fourth, Mike Bowers in fifth, Peter Miller's in sixth, and Carl Reed's in seventh.
Very good. Looking for some tight battles throughout the field here. Peter Miller and Mike Bowers. This is
Go
like
right,
you said,
everyone. Go right.
the battle for P5. I'm probably gonna have to
Go
break
right.
the fourth wall here at some point and mute the audio so we don't catch anything inadvertent there. Let's see, other tight battles throughout the field. Sammy Bridges right behind Scott Bell. Scott Bell is right along board with, actually, let's pull up all of our guys right now. Love to give our live drivers a shout out. Pete Mobron, Peter Lee, R. Scott Bell.
My goodness me, they are battling away. Although it looks to me like Edwin really has this kind of tied down at the moment, barring any unforeseen incidents. Now, of course, when they start catching up to the back markers, which is not going to be very long from now, then it's going to start getting very, very interesting.
Interesting indeed. Pete Mobron, currently your points leader. He's sitting back down 8 spots in P17. And he is missing a rear wing, although that probably won't hurt him much.
I won't say that, but it makes the car drive a lot funnier. I found that without a rear wing, you do get a very loose back end.
Trying to avoid the spinning Sean Trediak and just collecting some other folks there.
Jason Bice is just coming out of this Jake Ashe. No, they must have pitted early for a little bit of a fender bender. Kyle Reed is now great position for him as they come into turn one. He's chasing down Peter Miller and Mike Bowers. Ahead of them is, and not very far ahead of them, is Carl Dronke, and then Jeff Decker, David Pena, and of course our leader, Edwin Ballerino. So things are starting to calm down for a few seconds here, while they sort of get themselves all sorted out. They've kind of got the track a bit more. There's a bit more gaps between folks. The battles really haven't started massively. I think we've got a 2-stop tonight. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, basically what happened with the fuel configuration is we did, what was it, 1-stopper time but 2-stopper fuel, so it's going to be anybody's guess. The folks who are master strategists, I think, are going to be the beneficiaries of the last-minute variable change on its strategy, because you're going to have to figure it out real time. It's not going to have something that you would have calculated ahead of time. So you're acting as the driver. Oh, and Scott Bell's going to be able to make it through that close, tight racing with Sammy Bridges through the hairpin. Just a little bit of contact, but no worse for the wear. Up to 12th. 5 spots higher than where he started. Let's check in with our leader, Edwin Villarino, one more time. Actually, he's quite far up there. What I really want to check on is David Pena and Jeffrey Decker. These are your final podium spots here. You can really see Jeffrey Decker digging deep, trying to get around. And up, we've got some great other racing here. Kyle Reed, the guy I was looking for earlier, who I imagine has a fantastic paint scheme. He's going to be the tail end of a 3-car train here with Peter Miller and Mike Bowers, who we saw battling earlier. Just behind them, Walter Collada, Joshua Dancy. Walter, not much of a qualifying effort for somebody who I thought was going to have just, breakaway speed, who has had breakaway speed. Digging himself out of a hole now, up to 8th spot. League newcomer in the number 78 machine, Eric Lamoureux.
He's right. Pretty consistently quick, I mean, he's quite a fast guy there.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we're basically checking back in here with the, looks like they made contact there with Scott Bell and Demi Bridges, who just made contact a little bit ago. Pim Luth, the winner of the Skippy Formula 2 race, just behind them. He's up 10 spots to 15th. And you can see just behind their presumptive series champion, Pete O'Brien.
No, let's not talk too quickly, because, this track, it makes it anybody's race.
I mean, we've seen that so far. That has played out.
So Edwin's still in the lead, and it looks like he's got a 2.5 second, just over a 2.5 second gap over the field. As he navigates the hairpin, but he is now coming up on some of the back markers, so it's going to start to get a little more interesting for him as we see him chasing down. I can't really see who it is ahead of him.
I believe that's Jack Moffley. I think he was involved in earlier contact, and you can see the Nine Cat paint scheme there in the.
There you go. Shout out to Jack for being amazing. He threw me out a little bit and was my spotter for the SF2 race. It makes such a difference having someone in there in your ear, keeping you sane.
Some great battling here. Steve Dewar and Aaron Law. Aaron Law just making the pass there on Steve, but Steve trying to battle back. Looks like Rusty Pottenberg, Skippy Formula 2, well, I was going to say he passed Spencer Clark, but Spencer Clark looked like he was in the wall over there, so Guess not. So much.
Yeah, and yep, he's and Edwin is getting ever closer to Jack, who is driving out to try and keep away from him, because I'm sure he does not want to get lapped. But like I said, it's going to be really interesting. All right, so Edwin is just navigating the hairpin and is heading up the front straight, but he's still too far behind Jack to make an easy pass. So it's going to be really interesting to see where on the track they meet, and the pass has to occur. Now, of course, as you said right at the beginning, we do have that blue flag rule where you have to try and give up the place as soon as you can. That's a reasonable place to give up place, a reasonable space or place to give up the space. I'm getting myself confused here.
Yeah, there aren't too many reasonable places on this track. Right here would be one of them for sure.
He's too far back. He's too far back.
But it's just, you're right. It's that awkward space where you really would have to let off the gas and just absolutely crush your lap time in order to facilitate that pass. But there's another opportunity coming here as they make their right-hander. We'll see.
I mean, the best place really is probably now going to be for these two on the front straight, because while he's going to get a toe down here, he's still not going to be close enough to make an easy pass. But he's getting closing up. So, and there you go. Jake's moved out of the way, allowed him through, and away Edwin goes, extending his lead ever more. He's now 3.5 seconds over the second place, David Pena.
And we're checking in here with David Pena and Jeffrey Decker having a great battle. Actually, let's focus back up here with everyone 1 second, just because I want to show the lap time differential there. Edwin just absolutely scorched earth policy here. You can see just how much faster he's been than second place David Pena, at least for the moment. Mike Bowers in pit road. I gotta believe this is the first of a pit strategy stops, because I do not see him involved in any incidents or off track. Well, not there's off, but incidents apparently. So the game is afoot for pit strategy. We'll see how that goes. Edwin obviously not the beneficiary, like you were saying, of too much tow. You know who is though? Jeffrey Decker's been chilling in David Pena's slipstream here for I guess since the beginning of the race. So that may prove beneficial to him. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, yeah, of course
We'll
it will be fuel saving the entire time. So this means he's going to get a couple of extra laps, or probably a lap or maybe 2 laps of extra running time before he has to pit. And I mean, that's going to make a huge difference.
Don't look now, but Walter Collada worked his way up now to 6th place. Last time I checked in, he was 8th place, and it looks like he's going to be making the pass in the 57 car. Make that P5, so he's now up 15 total spots and setting some really fast laps. He has the hot lap of the race. So we're talking about how fast Edwin was going. Well, guess who's got the fast lap of the race so far? It's Walter Collada back there in 5th place, working his way up with Carl Dronke in his sights. Tim Luth, Sammy Bridges, Thor Tullo, Eric Lamoureux all down pit road for a splash of fuel.
Now, there's going to be 2 stops, right? So it really is going to be quite the thought that needs to go into this. Edwin has not stopped yet at all. So he's on a completely different strategy to everybody else. He must be getting a little bit low on fuel. As he goes into the hairpin, and Decker comes up behind him and taps his rear left wheel. Decker, and he goes in. in he goes. Edwin's in the pits. Not Decker. I'm sorry, that was not Decker. That was, I think, that was Jonathan.
Oh, but David Pena and Jeffrey Decker are going to make contact down pit road. He's got to go and check that.
No!
He's going to have to go and check that fast repair box here before too long. Good thing they got the longest drive ever ahead of them to be able to do that. But you can see Carl Dronke, Walter Collada, Kyle Reed, Joshua Dancy, Peter Miller, the whole field coming down with the same idea. So we will see how that goes. We will check everybody's pit stop time.
Edwin's back out. Edwin's off. He's out. He's done. He's got his fuel. And away he rolls.
Bring up pit time there so everybody can see how long they spent in the actual pit stall. This is not pit lane time, this is just pit stop time. Get your time in the box. Pretty even-ish, although, once again, Walter Collada, very fast. Mike Bowers, even faster. And Mike Bowers, if you remember, had pit just a little bit earlier than everybody else as well, so. Potentially different strategy, we will see.
Yeah, we're going to see who's better one and which ones will work out and which ones don't really degrade, as they say.
Well, after all said and done, Jeffrey Decker's going to come out second. Oops, there we go. David Pena with a brand new car after that fast repair will come out in third, but Carl Dronke now wildly on his tail. There's Walter Collada and Mike Bowers that we were talking about earlier. You're going to ride out your top six with Kyle Reed just in the distance. Check out Scott Bell leading the pack here with Eric Lamoureux. And you can see Chris Herrera there, having been involved earlier in that incident, working his way up to P15, at least for the moment. He's got his work cut out for him. And Eric gonna make a pass. Walter's really sniffing around Mike. I think he wants to get around him, depending on if this is going to be one or two stops, like you said. Mike, obviously a very fast driver in his own right, so maybe Walter just wants to kind of hang in the slipstream a la Jeffrey Decker from the first stint. Or not. Gonna make the pass. Over that pit stop. There you go. You can see Jeffrey Decker just disappearing at the bottom of your screen. There's Pena, Dronke, Collada, and Bowers. Kyle Reed leading Joshua Dancy around. Quite a few 2x2 battles. Aaron lost Steve Dewar. We saw them earlier. Steve making contact with Aaron after that pass a little bit earlier. Sammy Bridges and Tim Luth remain in contact. And further back, Jonathan Dockery and Jake Ashe. And actually, Jack Moffitt, that's for position. Those three drivers right there, with the 13 of Jeffrey Decker just behind them. So for Jeffrey, this is going to be all lap traffic he's going to have to get around in order to try to make his way back up to Edwin. who has now a 5.8 second. You want to take us on a lap, Ian? And he's gone.
So these pit changes have made some differences, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've seen just how big of a difference that can make. Pierre Hoops working his way back up. He had a 9.58 second stop versus, the 16 seconds that you saw from everybody else. I'm really curious to know how he pulled that off, what his strategy is with that, if it's different than everybody else's, or if he just pulled out sooner than he intended. But keep your eye on Hoops. He's currently sitting P12 and how that works out.
Mm-hmm. And Decker in second now. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. The closest race for position right now is Carl Johnson and David Pena. And a little further back, we've got Spencer Clark leading Scott Bell. Well, actually, sandwich between Scott Bell and Adam Wright. Those three for position. Jason Weiss in the 21 machine down a lap or two.
Well,
4-3.
we've got everybody on the lead lap all the way down to Scott Bell, and then Jonathan Dockery, Jake Ash, and from them, they're all a lap down. Jason on the lead lap. I'm not seeing him.
Yeah, I think he's a little.
Yeah, Jason is 4 laps down.
4 laps down. There you go.
4 laps down.
Well, did you want to take us on a? I'm running along with Edwin here. You want to take us on a little bit of a lap? I gotta. Actually,
Yeah,
we're like halfway through the lap here, but I gotta go.
Wait for him to come back to the start finish line, and I'll.
Perfect.
I'll do a
I'm gonna have to run out for just a second, but
yep, you go for it.
Once he goes start finish line, we'll do that. In the meantime, let's look back here at Steve Ewer and Aaron Law again. Steve just inching his way back up to Aaron's gearbox, and these are two fantastic drivers. I feel like these guys have found each other on the track once or twice before. And Steve, one of the consistently safest drivers on the track, finding himself in P11 right now, showing that consistency and keeping your car out of the wall can go a long way. But he's just one of those guys who goes out there that, I don't know, best way I can describe it is a big diesel engine. He chugs along, he does what he needs to do, he puts the car in positions, and sooner or later the cars are going to fall his way.
Yep. Okay, so just not to cut you off, Edwin's just about to go to the start-finish line.
There you go. All yours, buddy. I'll be right back.
Across the start-finish line, he's flat out, doing about 106, 107 miles an hour, all the way up into turn 1, which is about a 90-degree left-hander. He's going to come up, he's spin a little bit wide to get a good, nice, straight line into his braking zone. Slam on the brakes. Drop the car down, early turn in, drift it through the corner, getting back on the gas as early as possible, trying to stay outside of the road, of the wall, then into the circuit there, getting it nice and close to the left-hand wall, little tap on the brakes, we go through here, again, setting up for the next right-hander, and over the bumps, which unsettles the car, to try and keep it out of that wall. You see how close it gets, oh my gosh. And then all the way up now, again, 90-degree left-hander, brake, just right on the edge, get that rumble strip there on the inside, let the car drift out to the right, over to the left as we go down, drop down 2 gears, turn in nice and early, the gas on, keep the power on before the corner, into the long back straight, or longish back straight I should say, as he goes flying down here, and then he comes up to the corner, brakes, down into second gear, back on the gas, slide it left, keep it there, double apex, drop it down to first gear, slam on the brakes, tight on the inside and around the corner, back onto the front straight, flat on the gas and over the line. And that's a lap. So it's a pretty exciting place to do it. I mean, I must admit, I prefer it a bit to Detroit, simply because it's not quite as bumpy as Belle Isle. But it's a I don't know, it's a toss-up between these two. But I do feel, again, like I do in Belle Isle, I feel like a bit like a pinball in a pinball machine. It's so easy for the car to get pushed just a touch wide when you tap the wall. And it's not so much the tapping of the wall that's a problem. It's if you tap it and then it bounces you back out onto the other side, and then you hit the wall on the other side, which usually ends your evening. But Edwin seems to have this thing absolutely nailed. I mean, look at the times that he's putting in. His last lap was a 1:31.133. If we're lucky, we'll. Whoops! He tapped the wall there on the left-hand side. You can see how easy it is, even for a really good driver like Edwin, as he's chasing down. Looks like I didn't even see who it is. Rich Butler, yes, he's chasing down Rich Butler. And Rich, I must say, Rich's driving has really, really improved. He's doing much, much better. He was down in the 135s, 136s. He's now running regularly in the 133s. No, he's almost 8 seconds back. But Penya's back. Yeah, 11 seconds on this track is, with these kind of drivers, is next to problem. And that, back on. Absolutely. Edwin seems to have slowed down for some reason, I'm not sure why. Oh, no, he's back up to speed again. The chat room seems particularly empty this evening. I'm not sure what's going on. No running on empty race fans with us tonight. No, no family fans. No brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. Nobody strapped to chairs and forced to watch. Oh, he had nowhere to go. nowhere to go. That's going to change things up, isn't it? Yep. And Edwin just keeps laying those laps down. He just did a 1:31.5, tap the wall. See how he gets on. But I see that our friend Steve Dewar, just keeping himself quiet there, is up to 11th now. So congrats to him. He's doing really well. Sammy Bridges holding on to 12th. Kim Luth in 13th. Hello, I think that's Neil. Is it Neil? In 14th. Nick. So Dan, hard to say, but look at Pena's last lap. 1:31.0. 1:31.006. Oh my gosh. And he puts it in the wall, unfortunately, just then. And Edwin's coming up on lap traffic, so that slightly, even with the, it could be. Where are we at? We're at 38 minutes. Is that about right? Oh, he holds it out of the wall. Good Lord. Nice save. I tell you, David Pena is leaving nothing on the table. Absolutely nothing on the table. He is just pushing as hard as he can. And of course, Decker is right on his bumper. He is just right there. Doing a 1:31.270 versus David Pena's 1:31.484. So look how close they are. And he passes. He's trying to pass him in turn one. Oh, they hit! They crash! They crash! They are both out of the race. Oh no! It's a pile up. It's a pile up. There's a huge crash. Do not. They need to tow. They need to tow as fast as possible. No, do not. He's backing up on the track. Oh my gosh. Oh, someone else just got crashed into them. Oh, come on. Oh. Oh no, he's taking somebody else out. He's trying to reverse. He did not tow. There's going to be a protest on that one for sure. Jeffrey Decker out, David Pena out. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness me. Oh, Walter is all over the place. He is struggling to hold on to that car. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. He seems, has he broken something? His car does not sound well. His car does not sound well. There is something wrong with that car. Yep. He is, and he's got a good. It's a lovely turn he's made there, but just not enough to be able to get past JR on this last this final run up to the start finish line. So they're just not going to quite make it. But what a race! What a finish! Now who could have possibly guessed that? Peter is coming in, followed by Luis Baboni, Pim Luth in 15th. And then all the lap down cars who've already finished. That's the last of our front lap cars. As there is another pile up now in the more purposeful pile up. This one. Yeah. My gosh, that was an incredible race and so much fun to watch. So much fun to watch and so much fun to call with you, man. It's been a lot. I've missed doing this. I've missed doing I'll watch that. Yeah. Who is it they hit? They hit somebody. Who did they hit? Who was sat there? Is it Nelson? Yeah, look, Nelson ran into the wall. Edwin managed to get around him. And then he's driving the wrong way on the hot track, straight into the path of those two. And they just picked him up. And then I think he then towed. And then I think David Pena moved the car, reversed on the track, and someone else picked him up on that corner. So it's going to be an interesting night for the stewards. Let me say that.
Nah, I'm skipping week 13, but
Yeah, skip
it,
week 13.
it's fine. I mean, I raced the SF2 race with Ian and them and qualified second, was leading and put it in the wall. And I think I ended up battling back to fourth. And then we came in here with, I don't know how many cars were on the grid, but there's a ton. And we took off, and somebody decided they didn't want to start the race even though they gridded. I'm not sure who it was. So I got a 4X for that. And then we get to the fountain, and there's a pile up there. So it's the story of my SNS season, but it's fine.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Well, overall, though, for the season, obviously we just raced here at Long Beach, which is one thing, but looking back on the season as a whole,
I'm
and look,
28th again, I think. So
oh, there, okay. So looking forward now to season 6, anything that you are able to take with you and look forward to for the upcoming season.
like, I'm sure Ian's still here, but Ian's heard me say it 1,000 times, and anybody I worked with, I spot, and then I coach, and then I drive, and I do them the best in that order. So I was going to be done with the SNS stuff after this season. I'm just kind of discouraged, but after talking with Carl Drunk and a few others, we're going to stick around because a lot of them want me to stay and coach. So I'll be here next season, and we'll see how it goes.
Very
stuff,
good.
man. Good stuff.
But thanks for all you all doing the booth. Much appreciate it, and I enjoy watching it throughout the week. So we'll take a week off, get reset, and see how it goes.
Well, we'll have to talk about taking a week off because we're going to have to announce what we're going to do for week 13 soon.
Nope,
So
I
keep listening.
don't do week 13 stuff. I usually take the week off for the most part. I might drive once or twice
There
during
you
the
go.
week, but
Well, there might be one or two who might be interested. So we'll see.
my I rating, like, not to be the griper, but my I rating has gone from like 2240 at the high this season to I think I'm at 1608 right now. So I'm just kind of at that point where I just need a break. So
There
I
you
will
go.
see y'all next season, and y'all have a good one.
Nothing wrong
You
with
too,
that,
mate.
man.
Take care.
Yeah, take care.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Yep, Jonathan Dockery, thanks for joining us here. I'm gonna save Peter Lee. Let's see here. Want to bring in Chris Herrera. I don't have any rhyme or reason to this really, but we've got some team running on empty fans in the house, so we got to deliver for our diehard fans here, and not the start to the race you probably wanted, but battle back stayed pretty clean after that. Talk us through what happened.
Oh man, I just cooked it a little too fast on P1. I don't remember what lap it was, but it was super early on. And before I even got to the apex, I knew I lost it and I was going to hit that wall really hard. So I towed, thinking that my car probably wasn't going to make it out of there, and I didn't want to collect any safety bonus points or anything for causing issues for anybody else. Obviously, I think I did impact some people on there, and I apologize for that. But after that, I actually had a pretty good race. So it's really unfortunate that I wasn't able to keep it together from the very beginning because, in terms of points, especially because Pete had DNF, I believe, and I think I probably could have pulled up to possibly third, if not even second place overall, with a better finish. Edwin, of course, just killed it. I think he got pole position and led maybe every single lap. So congrats to him. And I want to say preemptive potential congrats to Pete Mulbratton for being season champion, but we'll wait for the final points on that. I don't know if that's official yet.
Yeah, things were changing so fast that I might actually, while Ian interviews folks, just do that to get a final answer because I don't know. I can't do the math in my head of where everybody finished. It's just not a normal race from that perspective.
Yeah.
So, but either way, it was a really fantastic season from you, and looking forward to next season. Are there any things that in 2020 hindsight, you wish you could do better? Anything you're taking with you, lessons learned into the next season? I know, obviously, probably not. It's hard. it's it's hard to not win, right? So obviously, now that the standard is set, you gotta probably feel like you got to get back there. But is there anything else outside of that that you have set goals for yourself for next season?
Yeah, it's harder, or it's hard to not win, but in this league, it's even harder to win because of jerks like Viorino and Mobrotin and Decker and all those Collada and Dronky and Bowers, and I hate them, but I love them all. At least for next season, my goal, it's going to be to win the season championship again. I think Pete might be, assuming he won, he might be our first 2-time champion. So, grudging congratulations to him again for that. So actually, it's part of the reason I'm not, trying to discount the other guys this season, but I did get a whole new sim rig set up about 4 or 5 weeks into the season. I've been steadily getting used to that. So I think I'm at the point now where I'm at least as fast as I was before I got all that. So hopefully I can maintain that, and if not, get a little faster. So all that said, my goals are, my sights on the championship next season. But at the very least, I'm here to have fun. So at the end of the day, I just want to have some fun, race some good folks, and have some good competition, and put on a show for Run on Empty and all you guys.
Good stuff. Well, that's awesome, and I think you'll be surprised and pleased at some of the things that we've got planned to come up that we've been working on in the background, which over the next week or two, maybe we'll start doing some hints on and seeing what we can pull together.
Ooh, Ian, you saucy minx! I'm excited to see what's going on. All right, I just wanted to hop in because it's the last race of the season, and I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I didn't finish great, all things considered, but I wanted to say hello, thank you, hello to Running on Empty, and congrats to Edwin for today, and whoever ends up being the champion, whether it's Pete or Edwin, congrats to those guys.
Got it.
Awesome.
It's been a pleasure watching you race. I mean, it's been a lot of fun being able to sit either on the track with you or in the booth and watch you do your thing. And I really, it's the league is everybody. It really is everybody. And I think that having so many talented drivers and so many folks willing to put in just a little bit of effort into different things, coaching, running the league, being a steward, or just being a participant and helping out by being part of the whole thing. It really is an amazing community, and it's a joy to be with. It really is.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking strictly as a participant who does nothing in terms of stewards or coaching or anything like that, which potentially I'll be changing that next season. But I just want to say this is one of the highlights of my week every single week, and part of that is the good racing, but part of that is just the community that comes along with it. We have the Discord channel, 400 different subcategories in there, all the different types of topics and conversations, and it's not just a fun race to do on Sunday. It's become sort of a social league as well. So I'm very appreciative that I found you guys on Reddit and we've turned it into what it is. So thank you guys.
No worries.
I think.
All right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, keep an ear out for Chris in the future. I was able to last minute put in a little preview so that those DASA tones you heard leading into the Formula One race compliments of Mr. Herrera, and we look forward to hearing some more from you. Yeah, very very last minute, and of course we always appreciate Jack Moffitt and Lousy Robot for providing all of the tunes so far. It'll be really fun though to get the a mix going with Sunday Night Skippy artists.
Awesome.
for our lead-in music. So yeah,
I'm looking forward to watching the race even more now, and
there you go.
I'll watch some of the standby music as well.
Very good, man. Well, have a great night. It was great, calling this season with you, and thanks for everything. Thanks for Running on Empty for showing up and being a fantastic group. We'll see you guys around.
Absolutely, and I'll see you on Saturday for the final Winter Challenge race.
Looking forward to that. Yes.
Guys, have a good night.
There you go. Absolutely.
All right, let's bring in before we bring in the Formula 2 guys, let's round out our Formula 1 discussion here. Jeffrey Decker just was on a tear there for a while. Unfortunate luck going into the penultimate lap, and just couldn't quite pull it out. But what did you see from your perspective there, Mr. Decker?
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore the incident. It didn't happen. The race ended and everything's fine.
Don't look at the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. No, but Yeah, I mean, I looked at the incident. I think I'll just let that be judged some other time. But I just want to say, like, it was a super fun race all around. It was fun fighting against David for P2 a bunch of the race. I hit him going into the pits. I was looking for him on Slack. I wanted to apologize to him about that. So I kind of had to wait for him to catch back up and wanted to give him that position back before we resumed fighting. Yeah, it was a good, fun, clean race all around, and I had a blast. And I think it was a good way to end the season, even though the race didn't end quite the way I wanted it to.
Well, that does happen occasionally, and especially on a track like this, where you know, having, having someone in front of you make a slight mistake, makes a big difference to your race.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, like I said, like it was a great race all around, good fun, and it was a great season. So I just wanted to thank you guys and thank everyone in the league for a good season. I think I held on to P3 in the championship. I hope.
So
That'd be a nice finish.
I just uploaded the results. I need people to usually I have people double check it, but that I entered everything incorrectly. But go check it out. Right now, I show you P3 by 9 points. So
Yes, Herrera P4, I think.
Herrera P4, yep. Edwin,
We're
Pete,
all-
Jeffrey. Edwin pulled out a win over Pete. This is not official yet. This is not official. This has not been double checked. But right now, Edwin beat Pete by 3 points on the entire season. So keep an eye out for that. We'll validate that that's accurate. But all of that comes down. He got 5 bonus points for lap sled today. So
Yep.
that's where
plus pole, right?
Plus
he dominated.
Plus pole. Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I thought he might have a chance. That's a really exciting finish to the season then too. But yeah, he was super dominant. So big congrats to him winning this race. And if that's the championship, then big congrats there too.
Very good, man. All right. Well, hey, great season overall. Something to build on for sure. You showed a lot of speed going in. I mean, all season long, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what you can do next year. I guess if we want to call it. Next season. I keep saying season, but it feels like so long. It's 2 weeks from now, and yeah, we look forward to it. Hope you can join us for the charity challenge on Saturday, and if not, obviously the week 13 event that we're going to be doing. But outside of that, man, if nothing else, we'll see you in 2 Sundays from now, and look forward to another successful season for the 13 car.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks so much again for the entire season.
See you around.
Take it easy, mate.
All right. Now, we got to go back in time to the Skippy Formula 2 race and
do we have to?
bring it. Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
Do we really have to?
I guess that's fair. Pimluth won the race in what's the word I'm looking for? Dominating, style. Yeah, convincing fashion.
You can say that. You can say that.
There you go. Yes, yeah. So just a great season for you in the Skippy Formula 2, and the Skippy Formula 1, but obviously specifically the Formula 2 standings. You ended up. Let's see. I'm trying to look here.
That's okay. Okay, before you say it,
yeah.
I made calculations together with Peter because maybe you have to get him in as well because we think that he's the champion. And we're like really excited about that, but I'm not sure if I pass Jake. So it could be that I'm 4th or 3rd. So you're gonna have me.
So the results are uploaded on Danley, so you can check it out. These have not been validated. We just did this for the Formula 1 race. These have not been validated or double checked by anybody, but the initial results are Peter 6 points down is Ian, 14 points from that is Jake, and 1 point away from 3rd place was Pim Luth. So I don't know.
We're gonna do some recalculations, but it was a great fight.
Yeah, that was good though. You got 2 wins on the season, so more than any. Well, actually, Andrew Cole had 2 as well, but outside of that, you were dominant when it came to the victories.
I'm very happy about it. It was a really good race. I didn't thought I was gonna do anything good when I saw the practice, because Ian was going really fast. Everybody was going really fast. So I was very surprised to get the pole, and from then on, yeah, I haven't seen anything. So for me, I will be honest, it was a little bit of a boring race, and I just tried to maintain my my pace. So I'm really curious about the broadcast.
Man, you pulled out a hell of a quali lap. You really did. I was really impressed.
Ian, I was constantly looking at you, and I saw that you didn't do it a quali, and I was like, "Where is he? Where is he?" Because I knew you were going to come. And then, yeah, your time wasn't that great, but
No, I bolt in practice, I think.
yeah, no. Well, the fun thing is, I don't know if everybody knows that, but we meet a lot of times in practice sessions, and I always look at your times, look at your data, how you did you drive, and stuff like that. So it's great to.
I'm going to start doing secret practices then.
Definitely.
It was a great season, though. I mean, I really had a hoot. I mean, you know, the fact that we started SF2 as a mistake / experiment, you know, and it's done this well, is really a joy to me. It really makes me feel really good because, you know, it was so much fun.
Yeah, but Ian, I do have to say that is a great thanks to you, because you did a lot of work for this, and I think the whole group really appreciate it. And I do think, yeah, we're all there. We have done a lot of practicing. We get great coaches. It's really fun to see the Sunday Night Skippy expand in this way.
Yep, and we're gonna hopefully, we've been talking. We're gonna see if we can pull this in to be a bit more part of the league for the next season. So it'll actually be more of an official league race. So we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope that I'm still allowed. People have asked me if I want to qualify to the Formula One. I feel that I'm not finished with Formula 2 yet. I still need to have a championship as Peter. So I'm going to be next year back up here to try one more time and make Jason proud.
All right. That sounds like a plan.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. Really appreciate it.
Take care, mate.
Have a good one.
All right.
Well, there you go. So from small mistakes, we get exciting big things, right?
Exactly.
Now, do we have to talk to Peter Lee? Do we really have to?
I think we must, because Peter Lee.
I hang my head in shame.
We we have to give props where they are due. And again, not a certainly official. Usually we have the admins, you know, double check the numbers and all that. But it would appear Peter Lee will walk away your inaugural season Skippy Formula 2 champion. Peter, how does it feel? How did the race go today? That's a tough race to go into, holding on to a narrow lead in the championship race, because Long Beach has proven that anything can happen.
Yeah, I wonder who was more nervous between me and Ian, because I think we were probably both having the shakes. By the way, Chris, this is all for you, just knowing your relationship with Ian. So
I love it. I love it.
But
I can tell you, I was a nervous wreck going into this race.
Yeah, me too. We were probably channeling each other's nerves to each other. And then you know, those nerves hit me in qualifying. I qualified down, I think like Q9 maybe, and so I on that first lap around turn 1 hit the fountain, and there's just cars sideways everywhere. And I'll have to look at the replay. I don't know. And you know, you kind of pick your way through that carnage, and you know, and you, like, this weight just lifts off your shoulders when you realize you've made it through.
Yeah, let's not talk about it.
Yeah, well, Ian, you know, and there's so much kind of random luck that goes on.
Yeah, I know. It was. You know what? I say this, right, but it's very tongue in cheek, and I had a really good time, you know, racing with all you all over this season. And I think that saying to Pim, you know, for something that started as an accident, you know, as a oh crap, oh, did I say that? Oh dear. we have too many races to be in this, to be on this track. How are we going to deal with this? To having a very competitive second league running. That's really gone from strength to strength, which, to be honest with you, is largely to do with the participants. It's the people that are in it that make it, right?
Well, it's just amazing the improvement, just top to bottom, the whole, really the whole season. We've all pushed each other. Like I felt like I was getting better, and Pim and Jason were pushing me. But relative to everyone else in F2, I was staying the same because we were just all improving like crazy, and it just kept pushing all of us. And it also, like the tradition, I think credit to you, Ian. Like the parade lap at the end and all that stuff. There's just something that's just so great about that.
Well, you got to do something to put the finger to the SF1 folks, right?
Well, so Peter, what are your I mean, obviously, just a great season overall, and it takes something special to pull out a overall victory over 10. Well, yeah, I guess 12 races, however many we ended up doing. But the now we were talking about those with Chris, who had won the the Formula One championship. Like, where do you set your expectations now moving forward? Like, what is your goal going to be for next season?
Yeah, like when I watch guys like Ian or Pim, they just got a lot faster than me through the whole season. And you see that on the time charts and then qualifying and so on. I think I ended up maybe getting better in terms of safety and consistency. I think I was top 5 in all but 2 races and top 10 in every race this season. So I was like Mr. Consistent, but I didn't have the speed of the others. So, I think Ian was a good second and a half faster than me here at Long Beach. And so I'd like to find that speed. And if I do that, maybe I have a chance to sometimes finish in top 20 in F1. That'd be a great thing to shoot for next season.
Awesome. Yeah, that's well, we wish you the best of luck, but just want to say a huge congratulations to you. It's a fine accomplishment, a good thing. We don't have anything for you. I wish we could give you like a certificate or a trophy or something like that, because that is a fine accomplishment. Certainly not anything that I was ever able to pull off. So, iRacing at least gives you a little certificate that you can print out, and if you win a season. But maybe we should get on that. So
just a free Krusty Burger certificate would be good.
There you go.
We'll give you some Duff PMA.
Well, man, hey,
a case of Duff.
Good job on everything, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next season. Any shout outs you want to give? You got the floor.
Well, Chris, I just want to thank you, above all. I mean, I'm sure you realize this, but just the way you do the broadcasts and how great they are, that is super motivating for all of us, and I really appreciate it. I know it's really hard work.
Well, it's not so hard. So I realized anybody who watches this back, if they're still listening, I had my mic muted to the broadcast, not to Ian, but to the broadcast for the last half of the race. So all that fantastic call, nobody's going to be able to hear. It's going to be just Ian responding to nobody and freaking out. So yeah. Anyway,
Ian must have sabotaged you somehow.
I don't know about that.
Oh man. Well, hey, congrats once again, and yeah, we will see you in just a couple of weeks, if not before that.
Great. Thanks. Yep, looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Good job.
Thank you.
And congratulations by beating me.
Thanks, Ian. Congrats to you too. Great podium.
Awesome, dude. Take care.
Yep.
All right. I believe. Well, we had Jason Bison there for a little bit, but looks like he
probably got
had
bored of listening to
other things. Yeah, listen to us talk. Which I don't blame
those guys ever shut up.
I don't blame them at all. To be clear. So with that being all said, we are done. I just want to
Well,
we
we're
didn't
not quite.
we didn't get Edwin in here, and I know it's all unofficial, but I do want to give a big shout out to Edwin Virino for the um, what I'm going to call the season 5 championship for Sunday Night Skippy, unofficially, but still, I think the math is pretty clear on that one.
Yep.
And just a great, I mean, you saw, we've said it 100 times. If we've said it once, it's just so tough to pull off even one win, but to be consistent enough throughout a season, um,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
you're gonna,
absolutely.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. So
this is not an easy group to be first place with. This is not an easy group to be in the top 10 with, let alone first place.
100% and be able to pull just off what he did, just pull it off what he did. And yeah, let's see if I can pull it up here. I want to look at some of his stats real quick while we've got it, because I think everybody will be pretty dang impressed with that. Edwin Virino with 7 top 5s. Sorry, let's back that up. 8 top 10s, 7 top 5s, and 5 wins, and that's just of the races that counted. So
Oh
we
my
dropped
goodness.
2 races. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he had a 50% win rate in the in the races that counted,
Crazy. That's completely mad. I mean, oh my gosh.
and he did it all with less incidents than the rest of the top 8. So Steve Dewar looks like he may have. Wow, Steve Dewar up 2 spots to P9, tying with Jack Moffitt there. We
Yeah.
talked to Steve Dewar being the cleanest driver there. 55 incidents on the season. Edwin with only 59. So it just goes to show you what a dominant driver Edwin Virino is, and obviously well earned. And I'm sure that he's now, though, put a target on his back with the likes of basically everybody who's super capable of putting a season together. So we'll see if we can have a repeat or not. Obviously, Chris Herrera relinquishing the crown to Edwin for the time being, and just a great run, great season, and look forward to seeing what Edwin can do in season 6.
Yeah, to keep
Wanted
it
to make
going.
sure we
Well, I
get
mean,
that.
next season's going to be interesting. We're going to again finish with Long Beach. It'll be our final race of the season. So, welcome back to Pinball City. But we've got Okayama, Road Atlanta, Suzuka. But we've got Suzuka West, which is going to be different because it's a subset of the main track. Back to Interlagos again, back to Watkins Glen. And then we're going to be running Mid Ohio, the full track at Mid Ohio, which will be fun. And then Oran Park, which is always a laugh to run. Imola, back to Bathurst and that insane set of corners. And then we're going to be doing the Skip Barber track, which I don't think we've done for quite some time. And then we're over to Sonoma for the Cup track. Before, as I said, ending it back again at Long Beach. So it should be a fun season coming up.
Yeah, I think the general consensus, the temperature in the room on the Discord when they released the draft of that was positive. I think a lot of drivers are really excited for the overall, structure of the series. However, after this race, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of folks not really looking forward to the finale once again. But maybe we can convince folks in the next 13 weeks that we can look at it as a chance for redemption instead of something to be
Absolutely. I'm
feared.
looking
So
forward to getting my Rowengi.
there you go.
Right? Hey, listen. We've been chatting about this race. We've been chatting about the past races. We've been chatting about the racers. We've talked a little bit about all the folks in the league and our appreciation of all the work that they put in, whether as drivers or as officials or whatever they do. What we haven't talked about is what we're going to do next week.
And what is that?
We've got this endurance race thing that we've been talking about doing in July at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and doing a 6-hour endurance race with teams of a minimum of 2, a maximum of 4, which of course can include folks who are not in the league. We've been sort of chatting about that, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that what might be a bit of a laugh is to have a go at doing a sort of a go at that, but not for 6 hours. Doing a much shorter session of doing maybe an hour's race. Then you can run it yourself, and you can choose from a variety of different cars. You could run the Dallara P217, the Le Mans Prototype 2 LMP2 car, a closed cockpit car. Pretty quick, ground effects and all that kind of good stuff. You could run a GTE car. We've got the BMW M8, the Chevy Corvette, the CR8 GTE. You could run the Ferrari 488 GTE or the Ford GTE. Or if you wanted to run something that's a little bit slower, but again, another tin top, you could try the GT3 class and run a Hurricane, Lamborghini Hurricane, or a BMW M4. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to that. I recently did my, I guess I'm counting it as my first. So I tried to do the Daytona 24. My team ended up basically wrecking out. So basically I got to get into our GTE, our BMW, and run a couple laps with it was still an okay car, but do my fair share, right? And so we didn't get schwacked with the I rating and safety rating penalties. So I did it, but not really. But we did the Bathurst 12 with a team in the GT3, and I'll tell you what a blast. And we did it in the BMW. I think that I just kind of want to stick with that. I might be weird, but I find the GT3s to be just a good time, really fun car to drive, and got it. They're the slowest, but at the same time, I don't know. It's just there's a lot of opportunity to drive it in GT3 only special events. There's a opportunity to drive it in these IMSA style events, and I just got a taste of it at Bathurst, and I'm ready to roll. So I think I'm gonna give the BMW GT3 a shot and see if I can't blow the field away here for our Week 13 event.
Oh, there you go. So the gauntlet, you're throwing the gauntlet down.
Yeah, just try to beat me. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I'm actually thinking I'm going to drive the GTE cars, and I'm going to be having to go in the Ferrari 488.
Oh, there you go. Another fine choice. By the way, I don't think there's any bad choices to be had here, but I think the Ferrari is going to be a blast for you to drive. Have you had much experience in it?
Not really. I've thrown it around the track a couple of times, and it's the transition from racing a Skippy to racing a tin top. All of a sudden, the car becomes. People who are listening to this who haven't had a go in sim racing are going to be going like, "What the hell is he talking about?" But the car feels really heavy. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, I know exactly what you mean. That is one of the reasons I think I ended up preferring the GT3 when we did Bathurst, because practicing for the Daytona's a pretty wide open track. There's a couple tight-ish turns, but the GT3 just felt like I was driving a bit of a boat, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, there's definitely it's still faster, than the GT3s for sure, and all that. But it's certainly a different feel, a different skill set that you got to have to turn some fast laps in that.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I encourage our friends and league members and anybody else out there who wants to have a bit of a laugh, who's listening. Like I say, you don't have to be a member of the league. You just want to have a. There's nothing on the there's no points. There's no nothing going on. We of course don't want people to just do it and everybody and spoil everybody else's laugh. But come on, have a go. And we'll just make it an open session probably with a quali and stuff like that. We are going to try and play around with some of the settings so that we can see if we can get our head around some of this stuff for the endurance race, which we're going to run in July, which will be a 6-hour endurance race with teams. So you have to be a minimum of 2 in the team, maximum of 4, and one of the drivers has to be a member of the league. But apart from that, you could have a team of 4 with 3, drivers from outside the league and one league member. And I see Doers has already bloody made up a team with Edward and Valerino, so I'm not really sure if I like that.
No, that's already the team to beat, if you ask me.
Well, the only thing is that Steve was saying that he would like to drive the Corvette, the CR8 GTE.
Yeah,
and I don't
yeah.
know. Have you ever tried that? Have you ever driven that?
I have, as a matter of fact.
Don't you think that is like the biggest flipping car in the planet? I mean, it's huge.
I'm telling you, I guess it'd be a small boat with a large rudder, but
I
yeah.
don't know. It's like trying to nav a flipping aircraft carrier around the track. It's insane. What we should do is maybe do an hour on this track in those cars.
Yeah. I think you'd have a mutiny on your hand if we tried
A lot of
that.
bent metal. A lot of bent metal. No, Le Mans. And what we'll do is we'll run an hour, but what we'll do is we'll put the timer on really fast, so it'll go daylight, nighttime, and back into the daylight all inside of an hour. How's that?
I like it. I like it a lot.
That'll be fun, wouldn't it? So you get start to see afternoon, evening, sunset, sun overnight, and then sunrise, and then hopefully back to about midday, and then the race is over.
Well, I know that I'm looking forward to it. I will definitely be there. I hope everybody else can make their way out and join in on the fun. I will be up on the Discord. I usually don't like to talk during road races, but I'm looking forward to. I want to be fast, and I'm gonna win, but I still like to have a good time on these Week 13 races.
The gauntlet. I want to know who else is going to be running GT3. So there's got to be at least another person going to take out like maybe a Lamborghini to beat that BMW.
I'm yeah. So I'm super excited, and just at the end of the day, it's all obviously all for fun, and that's what I like to get out of iRacing, especially with you guys. So
right, and I'm going to put in the chat. I'm going to put a link to the document that we've created. That's the rules and regs for the 6-hour race. So if people want to go and have a look at that, they can go and have a butcher's to see what it looks like.
Fantastic. So there's that. The Saturday, additionally, the Saturday night, if you want to potentially raise some money and or awareness for the charity, a charity that you feel strongly about, we are doing our season finale of the Winter Challenge for Charity, and there's a lot of money on the line to win. First place, second place, third place. I think we've got some donations that'll go to the winners of the heat race. Basically, what we're doing is racing Skip Barber Formula 2000s, the cars that you saw tonight, around Iowa Speedway, which is an oval track at night under the lights. Going to be a great time. Heat racing, a la the dirt race that we did. If anybody saw our Dirt 360 sprint car race. Was a lot of fun. I think that was one of our highest tuned into races. So a little bit of mix of, we got a road car on an oval using a dirt race configuration setup. So a little bit of everything.
On the oval, or is it going to be tarmac, asphalt, whatever?
Say that again.
So is it going to be dirt? Is there going to be dirt on the oval?
Oh no! It's on asphalt. It's on asphalt. We're just using the heat format, which at least for me, I'm just used to that with the dirt oval. So, we're gonna have. It's gonna be a great show. We're trying to get as many people as possible in there, and it doesn't cost anything. Just go to cavalcadenetwork.com. You can check out the registration there. Follow the links for the Winter Challenge and register for the final race. Win some money for the charity of your choice, and it's broadcast by Apex Racing TV, an actual professional iRacing broadcast unit. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitch. I think maybe just YouTube, but Apex Racing TV, give them a shout. They're official broadcast partners of iRacing, the iRacing service, and they do a fantastic job for us. Check it out Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're not racing, please show your support if you can by watching, and we will make sure that we obviously broadcast or put the links out on Discord and all that for anybody who's interested in watching that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That should be. I'll tell you that sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm going to plan on seeing if I can get a nose in there for that one.
Yes, it is it's unique, and it's one of those things that we've all been. You can practice all you want, but when it comes down to it, it's Skippy's on oval is anybody's guess of what's going to happen, and it's
Well,
all
who
for a good
knows?
cause. So there you go. All
Who
right, man.
knows?
Well, I just want to say thanks for joining me in the booth once again. We missed you up here. I know that you have fun racing, but at the same time, I'm sure people got a kick out of not having to hear me drone on for hours on end just by myself. And
Especially when you leave the microphone on mute.
especially and when I can't believe it. I had some great calls. We were doing so good, but nobody's gonna be able to hear it. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know.
And it was of course when Decker and who was it, Pena wrecked out screaming.
Not only did you have great calls, I mean, you had such foresight to be able to say what was going to happen and call it before it occurred. I mean, it was
Right.
amazing, mind blowing. It was mind blowing.
You caught that. I'm glad. I wish
did.
I hope
I heard
everybody
you.
else gets that too.
I
Yeah.
heard you and I appreciated you. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man.
It was. I tell you, they have no idea what they were missing. They really don't. Well, they don't because they
Next
didn't hear it. But
time.
you know what I mean. There you go.
Next
So
time.
there's lots of other things we're going to have coming up in the not too distant future. So I hope that folks that are listening in will keep listening in, because I think there's a bunch of, like I said, there's a bunch of new things that we have never had. Have I hear whispers of all sorts of different things. Did I hear merch somewhere? I don't know if we heard that. And
Yeah. So you know, I hesitate to bring it up because it's still in the beta stage, but currently there exists a Sunday Night Skippy store with a couple items on it. I want to make sure that we get things tightened up a little bit, but right now we've got mugs, t-shirts, and stickers, and we'll be able to do a little bit more moving forward. I kind of threw it together last minute just as a minimum viable product, so I can't speak to the quality of anything yet. We're going to do some beta test purchases, if you will, but that will be out sooner than later. You guys can get your Sunday Night Skippy merchandise, and we will add whatever is available that you want, whatever designs. We're
really
the way I was able to do it, we don't have to necessarily take a group order on anything and wait. We can just add if people got a design that they're interested in, then we will add it to the store and you can buy it. It's on demand. So other things that we have in the works too, we've got Carter Stickney and Chris Herrera. Well, actually, no, sorry, Carter Stickney. Chris is doing the music, so we're hoping to have a couple new OG soundtracks for Sunday Night Skippy, in addition to Jack Moffat's band Lousy Robot. It's mix the music up just a little bit, and Carter Stickney is going to be designing some wall art for us that'll go up in the store. So anybody who decorates their racing rooms or whatever with posters, which I do, so I know I was curious about that. We may have some original Sunday Night Skippy artwork to hang on the wall. So
that would be most cool. I can definitely. My wall is looking very blank right now and slightly green, to be honest with you. And it could definitely use some decent artwork on it. Now, of course, not just merch and exciting racing here, but we're also just about to kick off the Formula One season. So shout out to those boys. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm sure we'll have some chin wags about what's going on there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new what is it, the Netflix show? Why am I blanking on Drive to Survive?
Drive, yeah, that's coming out soon, isn't it?
We got that. We got the actual races starting. We got IndyCar coming up in a month or two. I think it was it's April.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's April. Of course, NASCAR is underway. It's so great to see motorsport back, and I'm really looking forward. This will be our second full season of Formula One watching, and obviously now we've been keeping track of all the off-season moves, which we hadn't before. So
Yeah.
the Smorl household will be even more invested in that series.
Well,
this season.
I think what we should try and do and it's just come to me right now. I'm just going to spit it out. It's out there. People can discuss it, think about it. But wouldn't it be cool if we could do a Sunday night Skippy meetup at the Formula One race in Austin, Texas?
I mean, absolutely.
Wouldn't that be a flipping hoot? Bring the family, bring the friends, bring yourself, come on your own, and we can, get some, I don't know, do a group buy, do whatever, and go watch some Formula One racing at Austin. Apparently, it's a great show too. There's a lot of parties and nightclubby type stuff. And
Austin is
concerts
weird,
and whatnot.
but yeah, definitely one of my favorite cities. So that would be fantastic. You can count me in. Logistics permitting, for sure.
Yeah, well, of course, and I mean COVID issues and stuff like that. Given that, but it's not till what, October, something like that.
Oh yeah,
September,
we got.
October. I mean, it's fairly down the
I
road.
think we've
so it
got
should be-
quite a ways. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's if I'll tell you what, answers on a postcard. No, if anybody's interested, get in touch, send us a message on Discord, say, hey, that sounds like a plan, and we'll see what we can pull together.
Good stuff. Well,
well, I think that's more or less it, isn't it? I mean,
I think that is, yeah.
A huge amount more to talk about.
We gotta, I gotta make sure, I gotta go double check all the math and get with you and Jason and Walter, the other admins, and make sure we've got everything buttoned
only
up.
Only change it if it means that I become first.
There you go. Yeah.
Anything else, just leave it as it is and just say, you know what, it's good enough.
I can't argue with that. You heard it here.
Oh my goodness me! I tell you, that was a nervous wreck today. It was not fun. It was not fun being me. Oh yeah. And then interesting times in the race.
Oy.
That's racing. It happens. Move on.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. It happens at our level. It happens at the F1 level.
Yep. Missed by 6 points. Dang it. Oh well. We will try again. Now again, we're gonna need to do some work on the SF1, SF2 format. We're gonna need to make some decisions on how we're gonna move it forward. We're gonna have to make some decisions on eligibility and how we're gonna manage that moving forward. Because there's been a lot of questions from folks who've been in the SF2 competition and then ineligible because their I rating went up too high. So there's a bunch of discussions I think we need to have in the admin side to try and figure out how we're going to manage this going forward. And of course, we will be bringing this back to the group, to everybody, so that it's not just a decision made in a vacuum, but everybody will have a chance to put their oar in, muddy the waters a little bit, and confuse the hell out of us.
Love it.
All right, mate. I think that's about it. It's we probably bored these poor people long enough.
Indeed. Well, once again, congrats on a great season. It's been fun, and I look forward to seeing what next season brings for you, the broadcast, the races, all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should keep this going, and I wish we get a bit more feedback from folks. I'd love to see some more information coming back from the folks that are out there listening, because it's really weird when you're talking, but you don't know who's listening and what they think about it.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Obviously we are always open to feedback and within technological limits. And,
just tell us we're wonderful. That's all.
Yeah. Well, that too. Yeah. But if there's anything, because this is, in case anybody hasn't figured it out yet, this is just done by league members for league members. This isn't, we're not. This is just us doing it for fun. This isn't anything other than that. So if there's something that we can do to make it enjoyable for everybody as a whole, then yeah, bring it up. I'm a very novice streamer. There's probably technology out there that we could be utilizing that I'm just not at the moment because I don't know what I don't know. So bring it up, and we'll do it.
All right, man. So I will see you. I'll see you on Saturday for the race. I hope.
Absolutely.
If not, I'll see you on Sunday, 1 hour boot around Le Mans in your tin top. I'll be interested to see how who picks up your gauntlet and slaps you with it.
I don't know. Yeah,
and we'll go from there.
See if anybody has the cojones. I don't know.
We'll see, mate. We'll see. Are you going to do a special paint job on your car for that?
You know, all my paint jobs are special, Ian.
Very special, my friend. Very,
Yeah.
very special.
That's the
Very
word.
special.
That's the word we're using for it. No. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, at least on this broadcast. Hopefully, we see you, the Royal You, this Saturday night, this Sunday night for some fundraising for good causes, and if nothing else, again, 2 weeks, same bad time, same bad channel. We will see you then.
Good night, everyone.